Um, Before we conclude, I think it would be meaningful for each of us to share our personal experiences or perspectives on occupational safety and health. Let's discuss how this topic has resonated with us or how we've encountered safety practice or the lack of thereof in our environments. Ifan, why don't you start?
Sure. My first encounter with OSH issue was during my internship at manufacturing plant. The company had a solid safety framework, but I noticed a gap in how well it was implemented. For instance, there was a particular incident where one of the workers suffered a minor injury while operating the machinery. The investigation revealed that the worker had skipped a routine operation, checked due the time pressure. This made me realize that even with a strict safety regulation, human behavior plays a huge role. Um, it's not enough to have policy in place. Fostering a safety first culture is crucial. One positive takeaway the company address the issue. They didn't just reprimand the worker, but use the incident as a learning opportunity. They organized a workshop for all employers to reinforce the importance of compliance.
That's an insightful experience, Ifran. I can relate during my part-time job at a registered warehouse. I saw firsthand how safety was sometimes overlooked in favor of meeting deadline. One of my colleagues nearly did sleep on a wet floor because the hazard wasn't marked properly. Luckily, nothing hap- nothing serious happened, but it could have been much worse. That incident stuck with me because it showed how small oversight can lead to significant risk. The management did accurately to address that issue, introducing stricter protocol for identifying and reporting hazard. However, I noticed that some employees still hesitate to speak up about unsafe conditions. It's a reminder that empowering workers to take responsibility for their safety is just as important to having management enforce rules.
That's a good point, Pete. Empowerment is key. My experience with OSS comes from volunteering for a construction site safety initiative during my university years. It was ear-opening to see how safety practice varied across sites. Some were meticulous, ensuring all workers wore proper protective equipment and had adequate training. Other were lax, with worker climbing scaffolding without harness. One particular moment stand out. I spoke with a worker who told me he did not wear a helmet because it was uncomfortable. This highlighted the importance of designing safety measures that are not only effective but also user friendly. If safety requirement feels like a burden, people are less likely to use it. That experience told me that safety is about balancing particularly with protection.
That's a great observation, Halim. User-friendly safety measuring can make a huge difference. On a related note, I remember visiting my uncle's farm where safety was largely informal. While there were no major accidents, I noticed several potential hazards like improperly stored chemical and outdated equipment. What struck me was the lack of awareness about the risk. After discussing this with him, we worked together to implement the strict safety practice, such as proper labeling and regular equipment maintenance. It wasn't OSHA level compliance, but it was a step in the right direction. This experience reinforced for me that even small action can have a big impact on safety.
That's powerful example, Irfan. It reminds me of a documentary I watched about workplace safety in high-risk industries. One story that stood out was about a coal miner who narrowly escaped an explosion because he followed safety protocols even when others didn't. It was a stark reminder of how critical even individual responsibility is in hazardous environment.
Agree. Safety is everyone's responsibility, but it often takes leadership to see that tone. I remember a guest lecture during one of our OSH class where the speaker shared the experience as a safety official. He emphasized the importance of leading by example, wearing PPE, following protocol, and addressing risks immediately. This approach creates a ripple effect, encouraging others to prioritize safety as well.
Those are all excellent stories. My personal connection to Osh stems from observing my father, who worked in the oil and gas industry. It's a high risk field and safety is taken very seriously. He would often talk about the rigorous training session they had and how every shift began with a safety briefing. What stood out to me was how these practices didn't just reduce accidents, they also built trust among the team members, like knowing everyone was committed to safety, create a strong sense of camaraderie. It made me realize that OSH isn't just about regulation, it's about fostering a shared commitment to looking out for one another. What do you think of it?
That's your perspective, Vikram. It shows how safety can strengthen workplace culture when everyone is on the same page. It's not only reduce risk but also boost morale and teamwork. What about you, Irfan?
Absolutely, this personal experience highlight the different facts of OSH policy, behavior, culture, and the shape. They show that while challenge exists, the impact of prioritizing safety is undeniable.
Well said, Irfan. Hearing all these stories reinforce the importance for our discussion today. OSH is not just a theoretical concept. It is a practical necessity that touch every industry and every individual.
I couldn't agree more with you, Halim. Absolutely. Thank you, everyone, for sharing your experience. They've added depth to our discussion and reminded us why this topic matters so much. And now, before we wrap things up, let's see about something that happened before. I think it's the U 2019's crucial to highlight some real-world examples where OSHA 1994 has positively impacted Malaysia. These cases can help us better understand the Act U 2019's significance and how it contributes to improving safety standards nationwide. Halim, would you like to start?
Of course, Ikram. One of the most notable example is in the construction industry, particularly the effort to reduce fall related injuries. OSHA 1994 introduced stringent guidelines for scaffolding, ladder, and personal protective equipment, that is PPE. This regulation has driven this, regu- this regulation have driven widespread adoption of fall prevention measure. For example, major projects like the MRT development in Kuala Lumpur integrated this safety practice. This contractor ensured that all workers were equipped with harness and helmet and that regular safety audits were conducted. These efforts significantly reduced the number of workplace accidents during the project U 2019's execution. It also set a benchmark for other large-scale projects in the country. What do you think, Ifan?
Uh, that's um, this 2019 is a great example, Halim. Um, in 2019, I like to add 2019 like to add the oil and the gas sector to discussion to this discussion. It's 2019 high risk industry and OSHA 1994 has played a pivotal role in enhancing safety measures. For instance, companies like Petronas has adopted strict compliance with OSHA guidelines. They implement comprehensive safety training programs, conduct risk assessment, and have emergency response plan in place. A specific example is their offshore drilling operation where the integration of blowout preventive and advanced monitoring system help prevent the catastrophic incidents. The practice, the practice not only protect workers but also safeguard the environment, which is equally important.
I completely agree, Irfan. The oil and gas sector has definitely benefited from Ocean 1984. Another example is like to bring up is the manufacturing industry. Over the years, we seen a significant decline in workplace accident thanks to the emphasis on machine safety and hazard communication. For instance, in electronic manufacturing plants, companies are now required to install machine guard, provide ergonomic workstation, and label hazardous chemical clearly. One well-documented case involved a semiconductor factory implement these measures. The company report a 60% reduction in workplace injuries within 3 years, demonstrate demonstrate the tangible benefit of compliance.
That year 2019, a fantastic point. Afiq. Manufacturing is indeed a sector where OSHA 1994 has made a huge difference. It due 2019 not just about protecting workers but also about boosting productivity. When employees feel safe, they use 2019 more focused and less prone to error. This benefit the organization as a whole.
What about you,
What do you
Irfan?
think, Ipan?
Um, Another example worth mentioning is the healthcare sector. OSHA 1994 has introduced guidelines for handling biohazard materials, ensuring the proper waste disposal and preventing the spread of infection. This measuring become especially critical during the COVID-19 pandemic. Hospitals and clinics nationwide adhere to strict protocol for the personal protective equipment, disinfection products, and isolation facilities. These guidelines were instrumental in minimizing exposed risk for the healthcare workers and patients. It's a powerful reminder of how safety regulation can adapt to meet the emerging challenges.
I think that's all for today. Unfortunately, we are out of time. Thank you everyone for joining this discussion, and I hope you have a very good night. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Siap baik. Okay. Assalamualaikum and good morning, everyone. Welcome to our group discussion. We have Abdul Halim, Ifra Aiman, Amir Rafiq, and me, Ahmad Ikram. Everyone, thank you for making the time for this important discussion. Our focus today is on the roles of occupational safety and health, or we call it OSHA, legal requirement in business management, with a particular emphasis on Malaysia Occupational Safety and Health Act in 1994. We'll discuss the act, purpose, key features, impacts on various industries, challenge in implementation, and strategies to overcome this challenge. We aim to provide an in-depth understanding of why OSH regulation are essential. Let's kick things off with an introduction to the topic. Halim, can you start by explaining the importance of OSH legal requirements?
Okay, thank you, Ikram. To begin with, OSH legal requirement from the Foundation for Ensuring Workplace Safety, they protect employees from hazard, reduce the risk of injuries, and save lives. This regulation establishes a clear framework that business must follow to create safe working environment. Without them, workplace would become dangerous and unpredictable. What do you think, Afiq?
I completely agree. Beyond protecting workers, this regulation also benefit employers. Companies that comply with OSH laws often see higher productivity and employee morale. When workers feel safe and valued, they're more engaged and less likely to take sick leave. It's win-win situation. So what about you, Irfan?
Exactly. OSH or SH legal requirements also help business avoid the significant financial loss. Non-compliance can lead to fines, lawsuits, and even the shutdown of the operations. These regulations are not just about avoiding penalties, but also fostering a culture of safety and responsibility. Halim, can you elaborate on the role this law play in business management?
Certainly, in business management, OSH laws serve as a guide for risk management. They require organizations to identify potential hazards, assess risks, and implement control measures. This proactive approach not only prevents accidents but also ensures business continuity. For instance, regular safety audit can uncover issues before they escalate. Afiq, do you have anything to add?
Yes, another important aspect is compliance with international standard. In today's global economy, companies that adhere to strict safety standards have a competitive edge. Many multinational corporations require their supplies to meet OSH standard as part of their supplies change policies. This makes compliance not just a legal obligation but also a business advantage.
Great points. Now that we understand the importance of OSH legal requirements, let's dive deeper into the specific of Malaysia, which is OSHA 1994. To start, let's go with Halim. Can you outline its key features?
Okay, for OSHA 1984, it's a comprehensive piece of legislation designed to ensure the safety, health, and welfare of employees at one of its standout features is its emphasis on shared responsibility. It's not just about the employee's job to ensure safety. Employees also have to have role to play.
That's a good point, Halim. The Act outlines general duties for employers, such as providing a safe working environment, conducting risk assessment, and offering necessary training. Employees, in turn, are required to follow safety protocol and report any hazard that they notice.
Exactly. Another significant aspect is the establishment of the National Council of Occupational Safety and Health that we call NOSH. This council is responsible for advising the government on policy and strategy to improve workplace safety. Halim, can you talk about how OSHA 1994 applies across various industries?
Sure, OSHA 1994 is flexible and applies to almost all sectors, including construction, manufacturing, healthcare, and even office-based work. Each industry has its own set of specific guidelines under the Act. For example, in construction, there are stringent rules about scaffolding and fall protection. In healthcare, There is a focus on infection control and proper waste management.
I like to add that the Act also emphasizes the importance of employee training and awareness. For instance, workers in the chemical industry must be trained to handle hazardous substances safely. This training reduces the likelihood of accident and ensures that employees can respond effectively in emergencies.
Those are excellent points. Let's now discuss the broader impact of OSHA 1994 on industries in Malaysia. Ifan, how do you think this legislation has influenced the business practice?
OSHA 1994 has had a transformative impact on Malaysia industry. It has compelled business to the prioritize safety in their operation. For example, manufacturing companies now invest in better machinery and protective equipment to comply with the law. This not only reduce workplace accidents but also enhance efficiency.
That's true. In the construction industry, OSHA 1994 has led to the widespread use of personal protective equipment (PPE) like helmet, glove, and harness. It has also encouraged the adoption of safer construction techniques such as the use of prefabricated materials which reduce on-site hazard. What about you, Alim?
And in healthcare, the Act has improved patient and staff safety. Hospitals are now required to follow strict protocol for handling biohazardous materials. This has minimized the risk of infection and ensure a safer environment for both patients and healthcare workers. Irfan, do you have any specific examples?
Yes, there's a well-documented case involves a factory after being audited for OSHA 1994 compliance. They introduced machine guards, conducted regular training, and improved their emergency response time. Within a year, workplace injuries dropped by 40% and employee certification improved significantly.
That's a great example. However, despite this positive outcome, many businesses still face challenges in complying with OSHA 1994. Let's talk about these challenges next. Ikram, would you like to start?
Certainly, one of the biggest challenges in the cost of compliance for small and medium enterprise, which we call SMEs, the expenses associated with the safely equipment, training programs, and regular audits can be prohibitive. Many SMEs struggle to allocate sufficient resource for this activity. What do you think, Halim?
Okay, another challenge is the lack of awareness and expertise in some organizations, especially smaller ones. There is limited knowledge about OSH requirement. This often leads to unintentional non-compliance.
I also like to add that resistance to change is a major issue. Some employers view safety regulation as an unnecessary burden that slow down operation. This mindset can be particularly challenging to overcome.
Good point. Let's not forget about enforcement challenges. Regulatory bodies often lack the manpower and resources to conduct frequent inspection and ensure compliance. This can result in some business neglecting their responsibilities. Halim, what do you think are the best way to address these challenges?
Okay, to address this challenge, education is key. The government should invest the awareness campaigns to educate both employers and employees about the importance of OFH compliance. Providing clear, accessible guidelines can also make it easier for business to understand their obligation. What do you think, Ifan?
I agree. Financial incentives such as tax rebates, for companies that implement safety measures could encourage more business to comply. Additionally, offering low-cost or free training programs for SMEs, especially, can address the issue of limited resource.
Technology can also play a significant role. For example, digital platform can be used to track compliance, schedule audit, and monitor safety metrics in real time. Drones and sensors can be deployed in high-risk industries like construction to identify hazard quickly.
Collaboration is another solution. Employees, and government bodies need to work together to create a culture of safety. This includes regular consultation and feedback session to improve society and policies.
And let's not forget about enforcement. Increasing the number of inspectors and conducting random audits can ensure that business take their responsibilities seriously. Stricter penalties for non-compliance can also serve as a deterrent. What do you think, Ifat?
Excellent suggestions. Before we conclude, let's envision the future of the OSH in Malaysia. Halim, what do you think the future holds?
I see a future where workplace safety is not just a legal requirement, but a core value for our business. With advancement in technology, we will likely see more innovative solutions such as AI-driven safety system that can predict and prevent accidents.
What do you think, Afiq?
That's an exciting vision. I also believe that globalization will drive Malaysian companies to adopt even stricter safety standards to remain competitive internationally. This will create a ripple effect, improving safety across all sectors.
I agree. Continuous improvement through education, technology, and collaboration will be key. As we move forward, it's essentially to keep the conversation about workplace safety alive. Thank you, Ikram, for moderating this discussion.
I should thank you and everyone. To summarize, OSH legal requirements like OSHA 1994 are essential for protecting workers, ensuring business continuity, and fostering a culture of safety. While there are challenges in implementation, they can be overcome through education, technology, and collaboration. It's been a productive discussion. Let's continue working towards safer workplace. Take care, everyone, and thank you for joining this discussion. Bye. Have a good night.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay.